It's about that time. You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with CannaQueen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their guests, and their subsidiaries. Please note, we are not medical physicians. We are not attorneys. Any information shared is based solely on our own personal research and knowledge. Come join us, solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420, to watch us on Facebook Live, on Twitch, and on YouTube right now at 420 Mountain Standard Time. Let's get into it. If you're in the comment section, say hello. I know it looks a little weird right now because it's just me. MJ is on her way. Little technical difficulty outside of the studio, so don't even worry about it. Come join us, solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. If you're watching me on Instagram, that's where I'm at right now. We're at Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. You come join us in the comment section. We would love to have you. Today is Heady headlines, so we're just going to talk about some headlines. We got some interesting ones today, so I'm super excited. But on Wednesday, we're going to have the Clements on. If you guys don't know, you need to know. I mean, you guys got to join us for that. They are amazing. They're super entrepreneurs. They have melanated mushrooms. They are also doing 3D printing. They're doing things with cannabis. They've got so much amazing things going on, and we can't wait to talk to them. So set your alarms, set your alerts. 420 Mountain Standard Time on Wednesday this week. We're going to have them on. Shinobi Studios does photography. I mean, I'm telling you, they do it all and they do it all well. So we're excited to have that conversation with them on Wednesday. Today, we're going to be doing headlines. I already read the disclaimer. We're going to talk about whatever the hell it is we want to talk about and however the hell we want to talk about it, because it's our show. That's what we do. MJ is on her way. And the first thing on our show notes says, why is CannaQueen mad today? And I really don't have a reason today. I don't have a reason to be mad. I mean, aside from other reasons, but like, should I be mad about like the Chinese balloon thing? I'm not sure. I haven't read enough about that. I know it was shot down out of the sky. That could be problematic for security reasons in America. Oh, did I say I just ashed all over my desk, so that's fun. Happy 420, everybody. Also, by the way, let me know you're here by saying what's up in the comments. Yeah, so I don't really have anything to be mad about this week. I will say, I'll touch on this a little bit. Men, you got to get it together. You got to get it together. Not all men, of course. We're never talking about all. Okay, but like literally just, learn to be emotional, learn to have emotions, learn to do that without lashing out irrationally at people or like stalking people or like losing your whole mind about things. Just learn to figure it out. There are therapists out there that can help you work on those kinds of things. It's not your fault until it is, okay, is what I'm saying. What am I saying? I'm saying it's not your fault that maybe this is your triggered reaction to things, but it is your fault if you're not going to do anything about it as an adult. So take care of yourself out there. Men have emotions too. I just think that a lot of you don't know how to emote properly. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I say that is because a lot of you will like just get angry and fly off the handle. And then if I cry about something, y'all be like, you're emotional. But like your anger, your level of anger is equivalent to my level of crying. So like you're still being emotional. You're just doing it differently. And I would say, talk to a therapist about it. Maybe it will help. If you're watching me on Instagram, we're at solo.to/cannabiscloset420. We're live on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch, whichever one of those platforms suits you best. And I'm solo right now, but MJ is on her way. So we're just talking about a few things, but I didn't have anything to be mad about today. So that's just something that, you know, from our weekend, I don't want to get, I'm trying to like avoid talking about our weekend because I kind of want her here for it. But on our weekend, you guys know we had some issue with a business owner down in Durango, and we were down in Durango for Snowdown this week. We got down there on Wednesday this week, and then we hung out, or last week, whatever. And then we hung out for the weekend and came back on Saturday. And the person who, so we were slated to do an event during Snowdown, but we had stopped doing business with the business that was holding the event. So we were like, we're not doing that. And so we wrote like a disclaimer on our page, Queen Kitty's page, saying, hey, Queen Kitty's not participating in that because, you know, whatever, sorry for the confusion. Anyways, that individual found themselves outside of their bar and outside of, you know, at sort of at the same time, the restaurant where we were eating at, and when we were seated at the restaurant, we were seated like in the front window so we could see everything. And so yeah, I'm just saying, the reason I bring it up is just to say, find a way to handle your emotions properly. And that's not it. That's not it. So yeah, congratulations on that when you do it. Okay, so I don't really have anything to be mad about today, but I did want to talk a little, you know, it's Black History Month, and is it garbage that it's just a month? Yes. Is it garbage? To me, it's garbage that we have to have these months to learn about other people and other like cultures and communities that have different experiences than our own. Then we have to like highlight it in a month, and I think that's silly. But I also know that it's necessary. It is Black History Month, and I actually wanted to go back into recent history and read you this story that I actually it's brand new. It's 2023, brand new. But I'm so like I just, oh my God, I would honestly hate to have to sit down and have a conversation with this kid, because we already know that he's like way the fuck smarter than me. So anyway, I'm just going to read this. This is out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This story was found on their local, I guess their local news, but it looks like it's been spread too. So anyways, okay, so this is out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This is on KMOV4, which I think might be out of St. Louis even. So I don't know where this story hails from originally. Let's see, source WGAL, and the family of this young boy, and then also CNN as well did some stuff on this. So imagine being 9 years old and already holding a high school diploma. That's the case for David Balogun. The 9-year-old recently graduated from the Reach Cyber Charter School in Harrisburg. David reportedly took classes remotely from his home in Bucks County. He said he enjoys science and computer programming. I want to be an astrophysicist and study black holes and supernovas. That's crazy. I wouldn't have even thought of that at 9 years old. The boy's parents have advanced degrees, but they say raising a young son with extraordinary intellectual gifts can be a bit challenging. He's a 9-year-old with a brain that does have the capacity to understand and comprehend a lot of concepts that are beyond his years, and sometimes beyond my understanding, said his mother, Rania Balogun. Balogun. David credits several of his favorite teachers for his academic success. They said he taught them a few things too in the few years that it took him to get through high school. David was an inspirational kid, definitely one who changes the way you think about teaching. After completing a semester at Bucks County Community College, David's family said they were currently looking at colleges and universities across the country to try to find one that's just the right fit. But so far, David and those around him have come up with all of the right answers. David said his favorite thing to do is learning, but he also likes playing sports and playing the piano, and he said he's working on his black belt in martial arts. What? This is crazy. Let me see if I can pull the picture up too. Hold on. Let's pull the picture up of him. There's a video, so I'll just pop that up. Well, I won't play the video, but I'll pull the picture up in it, if you will. Let's see here. Share screen. A tab. This one. All right. All right. So this is David, and he's 9 years old. And there we go. We'll tag that later. And he wants to be an astrophysicist and study black holes and supernovas. And he's already graduated high school. He's 9. So, yay. Congratulations, David, for that great accomplishment. I always wonder what also, you know, how that is. But I guess he did a lot of homeschooling. So it was like not... so it's not so much interaction with like the kids, you know, who can be sometimes cool about it or sometimes cruel about it, depending on where and etc. So, but he was homeschooled mostly, and yeah, he just graduated high school. So congratulations, David, for that, for doing that. It's amazing. He's a genius. He's a genius. Okay, let's see what the show notes say. So here we go. This show is brought to you by us. It's by us. By CQ LLC. CQ LLC is Cannabis Compliance and Education Company. www.cq-llc.com. We are certified responsible vendor trainers, providers of responsible vendor training in the state of Colorado. If you want to know more about that, or if you want to get your team onboarded, customer service, cqllc@gmail.com or 970-426-5985. Okay. Show is also brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer, pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. Queen Kitty Seltzer is a low dose 10 milligram CBD seltzer water. It has no sugar, it has no sweeteners, and it has no yak in the back. Pop this, put it in your mouth. We have Lemon Kiss, Bubblegum Burst, and Nearly Naked for your choosing and your pleasure. It's delicious. There's zero aftertaste in the back of your tongue. This is why we love it. We put a little piece of education on each can. So check out our website, www.queenkittyseltzer.com, or go to solo.to/queenkittyseltzer to find all of our social links, including our website and ways to contact us. You can purchase cans on the website, or if you're in Colorado, Durango has them at Magpies, Cloud9, The Roost, and Lively Day Con. Also at Durango Aesthetics and Wellness. They carry Queen Kitty for your needs, your wellness needs there. What's up, Lil Bobby Customs? If you didn't check out our last show, We had Little Bobby Customs on. It was so much fun. He was talking to us about crawling. I saw you guys had an outing recently. That was really dope. So we reposted that on our Cannabis Closet page. Go check it out, Cannabis Closet 420 on Instagram. So you guys see I'm rolling solo right now, but it's okay. She'll be here shortly, hopefully. It's harder to make it last like it. All of these segments I feel like would have lasted much longer if there was a conversation between she and I, but here we are, you know. So make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're doing that. Thanks for rolling up and showing up, everybody. I think we'll go ahead and jump into some of the news. And we'll start in Colorado. That's okay. She's driving home. It's also available, Queen Kitty Seltzer is also available in Vail at Pier 13 Liquor and Vail House of Vibes and Smoke and Bra in Frisco. Smoking blunts, what are you guys smoking on? Tell me what you're smoking on. You had to go get blinds, you said. Being an adult is hard. I have Blue Dream today from Durango Organics. I've been smoking on this White Runts from Border Buds too, which is very, very good. Really like that one. I do. I think I got strawberries and cream or something like that too. I'm not disappointed by anything that I picked up there. I'm really happy with all of them. Ooh, honeydew. Listen, does it taste like that or does it like have a fruity taste? Like or is it funky? Like what's it taste like? Anyways, let's get back into this. Is this not what I was reading? This is the one I was reading. Cannabis tax revenues in Colorado fall nearly 100 million from 2021 to 2022. I complain every time I'm driving down the street because I really want to know where our cannabis tax dollars are going. It's certainly not to fix the roads. Like, seriously, what? Okay, so let's read this article. Cannabis tax revenue in Colorado fell from $423 million in 2021 during the peak of the coronavirus pandemic to $325 million in 2022. The cannabis tax revenues in Colorado have fallen nearly $100 million. This is reported by the Denver Gazette. In 2021, during the pandemic, I just read those numbers. In 2020, the state collected $387 million in cannabis taxes. Last year, more than $675 million of the cannabis taxes collected in Colorado went to the Marijuana Tax Cash Fund. The Public School Capital Construction Assistance Fund received nearly $391 million. So it's going into the schools and not into the roads. Okay, it's fair. I guess I should have known that because I feel like we voted for that. The public school fund got $276.6 million, and the rest was divided between local government, which I don't like that. I don't like it when they say that. The rest was divided between local government, $138.38 million. What exactly does that mean? And state's general fund, which also $135.99 million was put into the state's general fund. We want to know how it's being used. Like, anyways, that's a different topic for a different day, I guess. But I really want to know how our tax money is being used, and saying we just put it into the general fund tells me that it's being used by our politicians and not for the betterment of the state. During the pandemic, when Colorado imposed a stay-at-home order and many employees shifted to working remotely, cannabis consumption increased. Of course it did. This is a natural phenomenon. You guys know that the things, whenever we're going into like a recession or anything like that happens, that the use of drug materials, we'll call it drug materials, alcohol, street drugs, other types of drugs increase when we're in crisis. That's true. That's a true statement. I don't know statistically speaking what that increase looks like, but it always happens that way. Since then, Colorado has been seen reduced sales due in part to shifts in consumer behavior. More states are legalizing adult use cannabis and less disposable income due to inflation. So, the Marijuana Industry Group Executive Director Truman Bradley told the Gazette that retail cannabis sales are down across the state. He said, I don't have a crystal ball as to the future, but there are a few things I know definitively. The first is decade number 2 of legalization in this state needs to look fundamentally different than decade number 1. The cannabis industry is extremely compliant and it can be a good source of revenue for the state and local governments. But we need to take a hard look at the regulations that were first put in when no one knew how this was going to go and assess whether that's actually appropriate or whether it's time to maybe relax those a little bit. So I'm all for relaxing regulations a little bit, a lot of it in Colorado. Hey Libby, what's up? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, so it looks like tax revenue is down, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. First of all, in the pandemic, people were just at home, working from home, able to smoke from home. And some didn't have to work at all, you know. So now if they have to go into their job, like physically go in, then they're not going to be using probably as much cannabis on those days. Pretty sure the schools have to file an application or something paperwork wise for tax money from cannabis. It's not just automatically handed out. See, that's the other thing. So we have a surplus of cannabis money just sitting in government coffers. So yeah, but then look at the state. Like, look at the state though. That irritates me at, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm driving down the road and I hit a fucking pothole, everywhere I go, every city I visit, there's potholes in the street. And it's just like, we have this excess of money going into the general fund. How about we fix the roads also? How about we just give it to the schools, find out how they're, you know, like how it should be appropriated. But like, you know what I'm saying? The schools need it too. I don't know. Shop medical if you can. If you can, shop medical, because otherwise we're going to lose our medical program, which is guaranteed to us in the Constitution. But really, they're just guaranteeing us cannabis, which means that they can give it to us in a retail format and then tax the fuck out of it and then put our tax money into their general fund. So that sounds like a good time. That's fun. So that's Colorado. Let's see. What do I want to look at next? I'm not going in order, so just give me a second to get these stories. Give what? Okay, let's look at this Ganjapreneur report. 0. This is a Ganjapreneur story. So is the last one. 0 medical cannabis markets are fully meeting patients' needs. Really? Look. Surprise. 0 medical cannabis facilities are meeting patients' needs. In the whole country, welcome home. Woo. Jay's here, everybody.
What up?
Yay.
Yay. Made it.
Made it.
Stupid entitled men today.
Oh, see? It's not our fault. They just show up.
Weird.
Just so you guys know, after the show, we're going to be hanging out in the Discord for a few. So come hang out with us in Discord. Solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. The Discord link is right in there. So I'm on this story. I'm just skipping around a little bit, but this story says 0 medical cannabis markets are fully meeting patients' needs.
Imagine that.
I'm not surprised.
Everyone's so gung-ho about, making it legal. Let's put it in, let's make money for the man. Let's make money for the man and make it legal. And then who's it helping? I thought this was about the patients and not the man.
It's not about the patients. I'll go ahead and share this screen. Let's see.
These are all from ganjapreneur.com, y'all. Hey, Libby.
The medical cannabis advocacy group Americans for Safe Access has released its annual State of the States report, which grades the states on their medical cannabis access options, and 0 U.S. states or territories received an A from the organization. In its annual State of State reports, they issued 13 failing grades to states' medical cannabis program, with Idaho and Nebraska receiving a 0 as the last 2 remaining states with no medical access. They gave failing grades to Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, Nebraska, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. The reason that those states failed, without a doubt, is because they don't actually have accessible programs. These are high CBD programs. They have not legalized, like what we would see as a medical program if you went to some of these other states. No state received an A grade, but Connecticut, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, and Rhode Island earned B pluses. So
where was Colorado in that?
I have no idea. Colorado not making a B plus.
I mean,
or California, or like the Oregon, like the states you would think that should be ace in it right now, right?
Should be, I mean, at least a B plus. I mean, we're not without issues, but we're not awful. I mean, I have my own,
Yeah. What's up, King Bong? King Bong. I love it.
Walk over here without a lighter. I did. Or water or anything.
You were like, let's just get on the computer. They also issued medical grades for medical cannabis programs of U.S. territories, including the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, D+, Guam, C-, Puerto Rico, D, the Virgin Islands, D+. While we can acknowledge that we have come a long way since the first medical cannabis law passed in 1996, we must also recognize that none of the state laws adopted thus far can be considered ideal from a patient's standpoint. The group notes that even in states with full medical cannabis programs, each state differs greatly in how patients can access their medicine, where they can access it, or even types of products they can access. Adding that because medical cannabis remains prohibited federally, most states leave out millions of potential patients due to the issues of affordability, patients' rights, and civil protections or product safety standardization. None of these states earned above a B plus by the ASA because none include the entire range of protections and rights that should be afforded to patients under the law, with some lagging far behind others. Because of the differences and deficiencies in legislation and regulation in the states, patients argue that the laws do not function equitably and are often poorly designed, poorly implemented, or both. Even well-organized programs can fail to deliver safe or legal access in states with laws that allow local governments to ban medical cannabis businesses from operating, leaving thousands of patients without access state laws were intended to create. The ASA estimates the number of medical cannabis patients in the U.S. exceeds 6 million, an increase of about 1 million from its 2021 report.
Let's not forget, y'all, we're all medical patients. We're all using cannabis for one reason or another, whether you've been to a doctor for it or not. And yes, there is that recreational element to it, but we're using this for anxiety, sleep, depression, so we don't have to use pharmaceuticals. But what happens when a medical program doesn't make it into the books or into the laws, or you don't support it, then it just becomes about the government making money, or government run facilities or pharmaceutical companies that, again, don't care about this plant, don't really care about the patients either, and only care about the money. So,
because if they cared about the patients at all, they would carry products that the patients need. I cannot tell you how many people are having a hard time finding RSO. Exactly. And can afford. Yeah, they can't find any RSO, FECO, whatever you want to call it, on the shelves. They have to like ask for it, and if they ask for it, sometimes they don't know where to get it. They don't have a source for it. And so then the most life-saving medicine option that we have as cannabis consumers is now not available to us as medical patients. And let's just be real, you guys, like I freak out every time I find a new lump or a bump, because like my whole maternal side there's been like cancers throughout all the women on my maternal side. So like really, like I'm really conscious about that. Just so you know, like I will state this out loud and publicly, I do not intend to do chemotherapy. And if I'm doing chemotherapy, I'm probably being forced to do it against my will, because I really do believe that cannabis can work for me to either put me in a better place, like make me feel good enough to live while I'm living, or save my life. So, and those are your options in life. Those are it. Like something's going to get all of us. And for me, it might be the big C, And so I already have made a plan for that. Like, I already know that what I intend to do. And so, but having said that, it has to be an option for me. It has to be an option that I can get RSO. I can get my hands on it legally, because they want me to do it legally and affordably
and regularly.
Like it has to be on the shelf. It has to be available. Or if you don't keep it on the shelf because of expirations or whatever, then there has to be a way to access it. Like, no, we don't keep it on the shelf, but we can order it. It'll be here like literally within 5 days. You know what I'm saying?
We had programs where it's like, we don't have this product right now made, but we know when it will be made. And so we started a list. And as soon as that product was made, so you knew when you were going to get
them.
And you knew that, and production and this is why vertical integration is important. It is important to have, your own plants that you're processing. It is, it's nice that you don't have to, and you can go and get your plant material processed by somebody else. But it would be nice if you didn't have to have a separate license to have, and everyone's different. Yeah. Every state is different. But if you
That's the crux of it all, though.
If you don't have control over your plants and the consistency of the genetics and the consistency of, from literally from the seed up, the dirt up, we're it's a hope and a prayer that, and yes, we get extractions, and there's, it's awesome that the cannabinoids are the cannabinoids. And when you extract them, you're going to extract them. And then, But I think that, that last, I kind of tucked out right as you were finishing up, but we do have to retake a look at these regulations. But what that means is that we have to be there present saying we need this because it's going to go in the wrong direction, y'all.
Because people who don't use cannabis or don't believe in cannabis or just doing this for the money or just doing this because public outcry or whatever the fuck their reason is, they are not going to make laws that benefit people who use cannabis as medicine. Because they don't know how. How would they know?
Don't want cannabis as medicine. That's
and how would they know?
You hear that? They don't want cannabis as medicine. They want cannabis as adult use. They want to classify it into alcohol. They want to take the medical part of it, but they want to pharmaceuticalize it. They want to throw it all in there, and they want to do away with our patient access. Like Colorado did put it in, but like you said, they can change those things. In the wrong direction.
They could change the way that we have access. So we didn't say that we were going to give you medical dispensaries. We said we were going to give you access to this particular plant, and that's here it is. We're going to tax the fuck out of it. You can't afford it. That's not my problem. But the Constitution says that I have to offer it to you. Here's your offer.
Yeah. And that's why, protecting caregiver rights as well.
Are there still growers growing hydroponically? Yes.
Yeah. There's so many methods. And I think that depending on your climate and your method, every method is different. And I think people
I want my plants in dirt.
Yeah. Dirt. I mean,
that's my preference. Like, I want them in dirt.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I'm like, is there? I know,
yeah.
I'm just joking. But as far as everyone has their different ways to net or stake or.
But honestly, hydroponics came from the need to be able to be sort of mobile-ish, or be able to tear down and get rid of things quickly. It's all I'm glad that we have different methods, but a lot of stuff is because it's not been legal to grow. So a lot of your basement growers, your garage growers, your underground growers, they might use that method as a convenience and a safety precaution. Because it's easier to get rid of water than it is to get rid of pounds of dirt and such. If you needed to tear down quickly and what I'm saying? So I don't know. Plus, I feel like it's easier to hide what you're doing when you're just getting these random items and creating your hydroponic system with that. You'd be setting up a fish tank for all the fuck they know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. And then people have turned to LEDs because of the same reason. It lower electricity costs, lower energy usage. So yeah, we have to what do you call it?
Evolve.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm glad that there's options, but also I like dirt.
I know. Seeing some of the technology at the BizCon was a little unnerving.
It's overwhelming.
And overwhelming and unnerving. One we walk by, he's like, it takes the smell right out of the plant. And you're like,
I'm like, why would you do that?
That is not. And you get what they're talking about in terms of people, the output, whatever. It's just no, everyone needs to get over it. If Purina can fucking put off their dog shit smell, then cannabis can just be cannabis. It is what it is, y'all. Paper mills exist.
So when I was
and they all smell disgusting.
They smell so gross. When I was growing up, I grew up in South Carolina. Well, I went to high school in South Carolina, and I was in Lancaster and in Rock Hill, which was like a 30-minute jaunt. That's where my cousins lived and everything. And they had the good mall, and or one of them anyway, the closest good mall. So so go out there. But anytime you went out that way, or if you were going to Charlotte and you were taking that way, the paper mill, oh my God, horrific. One time, okay, I already read the trigger warning, so I'm just gonna say this is an animal died, so I'm sorry. So one time, a it was a Rottweiler was hit by a car truck, probably because they had those big logging trucks that came through all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the median until it was gone. Until it like, and it stunk so bad, and they wouldn't come clean it up. They wouldn't come get this thing. And it like got big, and then it got ate away, and then it got gone. And then it was just like a little patch for the longest. It was so gross, and they wouldn't come clean it up. Because why? Because it's right next to the paper mill. So who cares if it stinks over here?
It's supposed to smell. It's the
visual. The visual.
Like when I was at Sisters, a little creature had been hit on the way interstate. There's like waterways and whatever. And I was getting on an exit, and I swear it looked like an otter. It was a big ass fucking otter looking animal. And I was like, oh. And they finally moved it after like 3 days. It didn't get
no, gross. This was over a year of just.
I mean, I would see deer stuff like that just because I do travel the same roads instances, and they're not moving those things.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was a high traffic area, but it was like 2 lanes, you know. Mm-hmm. Because it was like kind of, if you had to drive it every day though, it was kind of like watching a science experiment happen.
Yeah.
Like the beginning credits of True Blood, like that kind of like watching that happen in slow motion.
I just listened to the whole series that it was based on, the Sookie Sack.
Oh yeah. How was the book series on that?
It was great. I mean, I flew through them like when I was traveling back and forth.
Yeah.
I was just listening to that on tape and on Audible. I guess it's not on tape.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We're not old on tape.
But I didn't know. I mean, I didn't watch True Blood, so I didn't know anything about it either way. And so Sister turned it on to me because it's her Audible.
Yeah.
So, I liked it. It definitely keeps you. And there's a few follow-up or little side books or whatnot. And I was reading people's reviews, and they are harsh. They're like, It is not the same reader as in the original series, and it sucks.
Oh God!
Like, okay,
not the same reader. Jesus.
Like the girl that narrated all of the books doesn't do the side pieces. There's other voice people.
Yeah,
and she was critical. I was like, oh,
jeez, they'll get it. I have the next story I pulled up. That was on the list, which I find extremely interesting because, as we all know, okay, so trigger warning for real. We're gonna be talking about guns, but
it's the guns.
But as you know, if you've listened to this show before, I am very, very progressive in my thoughts. I believe in like human rights and everybody be equal or equitable, equal when possible, equitable when necessary, and whatever the fuck that means. But basically, I want us all to be like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like let's all do our thing. Like,
who gives a shit if people who gives a shit if people are getting married to who they love and it's not what you would have done? Who gives a fuck? Why? Go mind your business. Like, who cares? if people don't feel comfortable in their body and they want to change it, we've been changing our bodies for years. I'm pierced, I'm tattooed, and that used to be a big deal, but nobody would kill me over it. Okay,
There's
so
people that full on do their faces. You've seen the videos. People.
nobody's dying over that. You know what I'm saying? So like, just calm it down and don't worry about it. If it's not your business, just none of your business. Okay. But and then like, why am I safer around the cops than my friends of color? Like that shouldn't be a thing. So those are things that I believe, right? But I also believe in our right to have a firearm. If everybody else is allowed to have a fucking firearm, why can't I? Oh, because you are a marijuana smoker. Okay, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. My daddy was an alcoholic and he had access to guns like every day. every day. Okay. There was literally, again, trigger warning, there was literally a gun incident in my house when I was a child, where one of my parents threatened the other of my parents at least once in my childhood with a firearm. Lucky for me, I guess it didn't, somebody walked away. As everybody was smart enough to walk away. And so nobody got shot in my house, but like, I've seen that happen. In alcohol was definitely involved. Okay.
Things escalate quickly when
fucking scary as fuck. Okay. And our federal government gave my parents access to those weapons. Okay. So, and like,
yeah, it doesn't ask you on your application how many drinks a day do you have.
Doesn't ask you that, or if you imbibe in alcohol
more than to the point of impairment.
If you are taking legal prescription medication, none of that matters, but it does matter if you're using a plant. So anyway, all of that to say this, there is a federal judge. Let's see, let me share this screen. There's a federal judge who's saying, nah, bruh, that's unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional. Like, and he's like, yeah.
He said it like I said it too. I'm
all
sure
of it. Yes.
I'm sure he was like, nah, bruh.
All of the first sentences are exactly right.
Yeah. So this judge, an Oklahoma judge, of course. See, everybody has a purpose. Oklahoma. Sometimes you're like, why? Why would we go to this is why, because they're gonna be the ones that finally use the rallying cry. Oklahoma
Listen, I grew
judge.
up there. I thought I was gonna live my life out there. I did not want to move to Florida.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Anyway, sorry.
A federal judge in Oklahoma ruled last week that the federal law barring people who use cannabis from owning firearms is unconstitutional. Lawyers for Jared Michael Harrison argued that his Second Amendment rights were violated by the federal law that outlaws unlawful users or addicts of controlled substances to possess firearms. And a U.S. District Judge Patrick Wyrick in Oklahoma City agreed. Holla, yay. Ruling that the federal prosecutor's arguments that Harrison's cannabis use justifies stripping him of his fundamental right to possess a firearm is not constitutionally permissible, is not a constitutionally permissible means of disarming Harrison. Look, I don't know if everybody should have a firearm, but I know, well, no, I do know not everybody should have a firearm. Okay. We get that, right? But also that should not be the reason why you don't have a firearm. That should not be the reason. Something interesting is happening upstairs. My dog is losing her whole mind.
Oh.
So in 2020, Harrison was charged after being arrested by the police in Lawton, Oklahoma, following a traffic stop. During a search of his vehicle, police found a loaded revolver as well as cannabis. So those two things together, illegal, automatically. Harrison told police that he was on his way to work at a medical cannabis dispensary, but that he did not have a state-issued medical cannabis card. So now he's like breaking their bullshit laws because he's medicating, but not on their terms, right? And then he has a firearm in his vehicle as well. So those two things together is automatic problem, right? Where was I? Let's see. He did not have. Okay, so federal prosecutors argue that the portion of the law focused on drug use is consistent with a longstanding historical tradition in America of disarming presumptively risky persons, namely felons, the mentally ill, and the intoxicated. What the fuck? They're not coming, like you said, they're not coming to people's houses who they know are alcohol or like no, and if you live in a small town, especially, there's like a town drunk, right? They're not going to that guy's house and like, give me your firearms. They're not doing that unless there's a problem at his house.
Right. And I think Hawaii, you mentioned Hawaii did it.
Hawaii did it in the beginning. I don't think that they do it still now, but I could be wrong about that. But in the beginning, I know that they did.
Right. Sorry, I'm catching up on the reading as well.
The judge disagreed with writing his opinion that the mere use of marijuana carries none of the characteristics that the nation's history and tradition of firearm regulation supports. He added that using cannabis was not in and of itself a violent, forceful, or threatening act. I mean, hallelujah. He ultimately dismissed the charges against Harrison. The public defender representing Harrison told Reuters that the ruling was a step in the right direction for a large number of Americans who deserve the right to bear arms and protect their homes just like any other American. So, right. So you're saying because I use cannabis that I can't have, if I choose, a firearm in my home to protect my home from intruders.
Yeah,
and
legally.
Right.
I'm a
Yeah. So you're saying I'm not given the opportunity to protect myself in the same way as my neighbor can protect themselves if they don't use cannabis. And that's crazy talk because, the neighbor's an alcoholic or a pillhead or a cokehead or whatever the case. And then like, you're not taking their guns away from them unless there's an incident. Unless there's an incident that involves violence and there's firearms in the vicinity. Those are the only time that you bother these drunks. And then sometimes you give them back or let them get more.
Right. And how about this for safety measures? You don't have, we have to go through all these safety packaging and regulations on how we are able to open our medicine. But we're required to get certified, but to, you're not, what's the training involved to own and possess a firearm?
There's not. There's not. In most states, there's not.
Own and like
some states have some regulations, but no, honestly, like what I say at the beginning of this conversation, I'm very progressive. We need regulations. Is it going to stop criminals from criminaling? No, no law stops criminals from criminaling. Okay. But it does make it more difficult for somebody to legally get a firearm who is mentally ill, who has a violent past or violent history. If I have to fucking take a test to drive my fucking car, then you got to take a test to carry a firearm. Cause like one time I was in a place with acquaintance friend that had newly gotten the concealed carry, and we were in a restaurant, and something banged in the back, and he said something like, "Oh, I don't want to have to shoot nobody." Like, no, motherfuckers, like, you can't have this mentality. You can't do it. You gotta fucking, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. We want sensible gun ownership. Hopefully they've grown up, because I'm certain that they have firearms still. But like training and responsibility. When you take martial arts, they teach you about discipline first before they teach you how to fight. And the reason is because they don't want to give you a weapon that you don't know how to, like, not just leash out onto the world for no reason. Right. And so like, yeah, get some fucking discipline before you. Anyways. Okay. In Missouri, having medical cards means we buy our firearms from private sellers or auctions, no applications to the state ever. See, so what's happening? So that's what this is. Also, to me, this is a problem. Like, okay, first of all, I just want to say that if you think that having firearms in your house is going to protect you from the government, that's a different conversation. That's not going to happen. They have more money and bigger guns than you. And they're silent, and like you wouldn't even know it's happening. Like, but also, like, I think you should be able to protect yourself in a situation where somebody thinks they're going to cross into the threshold of your home. Yeah, you crazy. Or situations like that where there's abuse, maybe, or somebody should have had to get a restraining order against. Anyways, there's a million reasons why I think you should be able to have a gun. But also, I also think that you should know how to clean the gun, take the gun apart, put the gun back together. You should know how to aim and fire the gun. You should know how to adjust your sights on the gun. I did it like a rifle. But anyways, you should know how to. Right. You should know the ins and outs of your firearm, like the ins and outs of your skis, of your moped, of your, right. I'm not saying that you need to know how to change the oil in your car, but you should know how to drive that car safely, and you should know what the rules are to drive that car safely. And it would help if you knew how to change a tire.
I know how to change a tire. I just don't necessarily have the strength, against to get.
I know how to change a tire, but I'm also pretty. So
yeah, I also have
but I've also changed many tires on many government vehicles where a guy did not know what the fuck to do. Like, didn't know how to work the jack, didn't know how to do any of the shit. And I was just like, move. Like, yeah. Get out of my way. This is a basic life skill. Maybe changing your oil is too, but basic life skill should include like cooking, cleaning your space, etc., budgeting, and also being able to do things on your car, like the thing that is going to get you from place to place. You should know how to change your tire. Yeah.
I feel like, though, in the sense of some, like, the newer cars, like, I used to be able to fix a lot of stuff on my car, like on my Mitsubishi.
Yeah, they're a lot electric.
I did, yeah, and on my Subaru, I can do certain things, but even, like, I can't change my lights on my Subaru. I used to be able to do that shit, no problem. Now I got to take it into a dealership.
Right, because it's all electric. It's all different now. Yeah, that's true. But the tires remain mostly the same.
Yeah.
So I'm on this tire thing. Like, I'm not saying you need to know how to build a birdhouse, but I am saying, but also, like, if I get a flat tire on the side of the road in the middle of the night, and I'm a cannabis consumer, and I am also carrying a firearm for protection, and then a cop pulls up to help me with my tire, and see, like, you know what I'm saying? I could get in so much trouble for that, but why would I want to be out in the dark without protection. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a woman, that's crazy. That's crazy talk to me. I know some of you listening that have never experienced being a woman may or may not understand from our perspective, but literally everywhere we go, we have to be we have to be on alert and protect ourselves. And I've I've always been on high alert, especially like in dark spaces. Oh, it's fucking 4:20 on the West Coast. It's 4:20 on the West Coast.
420.
But yeah, I'm just like, I've always been an on alert type of person. So I've always watched my drink. I've always paid attention to my surroundings. I've always known, there's a couple times where I didn't know who I was with, but like also like really kind of like gauge the situation. And I guess, yeah, there's a couple times where I've just put myself in a situation where it's just got me in the pit of my stomach. And then I get the fuck out. Like, listen to that, please. But we should be able to protect ourselves as human beings from other human beings that wish us harm for no reasons. Oh, snap, it's 420. Speaking of KC.
Yeah.
I might hit you up soon because I need to know if there's things going on, specific dates. I'm not going to announce those dates on the air or anything, but maybe I might want to get into some stuff because I'm not telling, I mean, I'm obviously telling you guys right now, but like I'm not telling anybody the dates that I'm coming really, because I'm not coming for y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all, but I'm not coming for y'all. Yeah. Coming from me. But I do want to like maybe like find some good food spots, and if there's any live music to get into. Oh, I'm definitely definitely gonna be in St. Louis for Miss Jackson If You're Nasty. So we will let people know that we're gonna be around there for a couple of days and, you know, hang out and whatnot. But listen, nosebleed seats were $50 in St. Louis, right?
Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't need to be up front and personal with Miss Jackson. I mean, it would be dope.
It's just the
But I
vibe
don't need
to be there.
But we're gonna be in the same building together.
Yep. To breathe.
And I'm gonna be there with my girls. Like, I'm gonna be there with Dawn, the cannabis advocate. We're gonna be there with Marion, and you are gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna be dancing. St. Louis, check it out. If they're not sold out, I mean, they were $50. That was with fees and everything, right? Like $51.
You're asking me who did not. Yes.
I think it was like $51 though for like fees and everything.
Definitely, yeah, affordable. In high school when I was we had this badass choreographer who was the head of the cheerleading squad, and she did a fucking dance to like she mashed it, and we did the whole and
Rhythm Nation, like,
yep.
We are a part.
Yeah, we did that whole like.
Listen, I don't know how much she's gonna be in KC, I think too, but I don't know how much those tickets are. We're going to St. Louis for it. I saw it was in St. Louis, and I was like, there's like a multitude of reasons why I just love being in St. Louis, no matter the pow-pows around me. So I was like, let's go to St. Louis.
Let's do it.
It'd be a part of the Rhythm Nation. So yeah, so we're doing it, and it's gonna be a blast. But before that, I am planning a little side excursion side adventure. What's up next? And but it won't take me all the way to St. Louis. It was gonna take me like to Kansas, but then I was like, there's no legal nothing happening in Kansas, and I can't be there. So like, let me just drive a little bit further, and you drive a little bit less, and we'll meet in the Missouri side.
Yep. There's a Hilton Garden, I think is where I stayed. Or no, the Hampton. Anyway, there's one right there on the edge.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm not telling a lot of people when I'm coming. I just want to know. So I might tell you just to get
a multiple of places.
I mean, I just want to know where to go for amazing food, and we smoke in public, she said. That's what I'm talking about.
Here is itching and it won't stop.
I love when states are brand new. I love when states are brand new and then they're like, fuck you and your laws.
And your
you
taxes.
Said it was legal. I'm going to smoke this shit right in front of your face.
No shame, no shame.
None. That wasn't the last story, but let's see.
Yeah, it was just
there was a good one though.
Little international Argentina.
Owning firearms. Oh wait, what is this one? Washington bill would create agricultural agency for cannabis. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. They just repeat the headline in the first line. But that's okay. It's a great intro. I'm not hating because I didn't report on this, and I appreciate the ganjapreneur.
You want me to get this one?
Sure. You guys hydrate if you would like.
I know. I'm gonna do that. Did you want to put it up on the screen? Or?
Yeah, I'll put it up. Hold on. Figure out how to do that.
So a legislative proposal in Washington seeks to create a cannabis regulatory commission that would operate like the state's other agricultural agencies. A bill introduced in Washington state aims to create a cannabis commission that would function like the other agricultural commissions already operating in the state, Fox 13 reports. Lawmakers supporting the legislation say the commission would help growers and producers compete nationally if or when the federal government loosens restrictions and opens up the entire U.S. market. So they're just thinking ahead. Republican Representative Kelly Chambers said the commission would be self-funded by the industry, kind of a mandatory fee.
Oh, goodness.
Money. But, you know, and it has to, but something, I guess, has to.
That's the part I don't like, because you already know that they're just collect it out of the taxes.
Right. Just roll it. Yeah. The commission's purposes would include research, advertising, government agencies, reviewing market metrics, educating, advising producers, advancing knowledge and practice, limiting youth access, and grant powers for acquiring, creating, and owning intellectual property rights, licenses, and patents, the report says.
It's like being part of a club, and if you're not part of the club and part of the elite, it's like getting like a stamp of approval from the Better Business Bureau, but you have to pay to be a part of the.
Right. Well, everyone's been already, doing this, and and now it's again about money and who can do it. It's very elite cannabis. Chambers added that were federal laws loosened, there would be a lot of competition, adding that cannabis producers in Washington, among the nation's first legal producers, have a lot of pride in what they have created. The measure is currently in the House Regulated Substance and Gaming Commission. So,
she also said creating and developing intellectual property rights. I guess that's part of what it's going to do. So we have other commissions. We have a wine commission, a potato commission that promote Washington wine and Washington potatoes. So sort of the same thing. But I just think, God, they take so much out of cannabis pockets. They do. They take so much. It's like the first thing. Every time I used to go to a city hall meeting or a county commission meeting and cannabis was on the agenda, they'd be like, "Well, let's tax the cannabis." And I'd have to be up there like, "Why are we just are you taxing other businesses in this community? Like, are you taxing the other businesses? Because like literally 27% taxes in some places or more. And that's crazy
It's
town.
crazy. I mean, I know up here some, and I know cigarettes are, they are, tobacco is getting hit big with some raises and some, at least up in the mountains. I mean, they're paying like I don't even know what the amount is now. It's above 40, I think.
For a cigarette tax?
Mm-hmm.
Well, cigarettes kill you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's what, that's what they're, but, again, big tobacco is going to not be so keen on that. And
alcohol fights us tooth and nail. So they're fighting us in beverage world too. Like alcohol, they don't want us around for beverages.
No.
But hey, you guys go to queenkittyseltzer.com and grab 2 4-packs. It's better for shipping, but pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. So yeah, I want the federal market to open up too, because I also want access or more accessibility for material hemp products as well. It's not just about like creating a medicine or creating, you know what I'm saying? Like it's about you can literally save the world with hemp.
Why is it not? I mean, they're gonna start treating it like a cash crop as soon as they get all their ducks in a row, and they're gonna start as far as the textiles. So that's where also people that have been doing this for ever are now going to start seeing regulations in building materials.
Textiles. Oh, this is actually this was one of the stories I had up today. Out of Washington D.C., regulators with the U.S. Food and Drug. This is a normal story. NORML. Regulators with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have announced that Congress, not the FDA, must take primary responsibility for creating a regulatory framework overseeing the commercial production and sale of hemp-derived CBD products. So instead of making the regulation themselves, which everybody's kind of been waiting for the FDA to do, they're like, nah, we're going to punt it to somebody else. We're going to give it to Congress. It's their responsibility. The agency, which was tasked by Congress so they've been passing it back and forth. Congress was like, you establish regulations for hemp-derived products. When federal lawmakers legalized in 2018, they were like, you guys are the ones that do the food stuff. So the FDA's existing rules governing foods and dietary supplements are inadequate for addressing hemp-derived CBD products. So they were like, hey, FDA, you guys do it. After a careful review, the FDA has concluded that a new regulatory pathway for hemp-derived CBD is needed that balances individuals' desire for access to CBD products with regulatory oversight needed to manage risk. The FDA looks forward to working with Congress to develop a cross-agency strategy for regulation of these products to protect the public's health and safety. They don't give a fuck about our health and safety. If they did, they wouldn't keep passing this back and forth, right? It's so crazy to me.
It's like this CDPHE and the MED don't really like talk to each other about the regulations that they've instilled on the other. Like it's required for X, but they regulate it, but they don't.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah. So they're just passing it back and forth. They're like, we're not gonna put our hands in that. And then Congress is like, well, we said that you're gonna do it. And then they're like, nah, we're not gonna do it. So that's fun. For years,
yeah.
Normal and other groups have urged the FDA to establish regulatory guidelines governing the production, testing, labeling, and marketing of hemp-derived CBD products. Analysis conducted by the FDA and others have consistently reported that many over-the-counter CBD products are of variable quality and potency, and that they may contain contaminants, adulterants, or elevated levels of heavy metal. A survey data compiled by the National Consumers League reports that more than 8 in 10 U.S. voters desire greater federal regulatory oversight over labeling and marketing of commercially available CBD products. The FDA press release made no mention on whether it intends to address the proliferation of novel intoxicating cannabinoid products, THCO, Delta-8, which are produced through chemical synthesis of hemp-derived CBD. These unregulated products have grown widely popular in recent years, and the FDA has issued health warnings about them following consumer complaints. Normal has cautioned against the ingestion of these novel unregulated products. In 2018, the FDA approved the prescription use of plant-derived CBD Epidiolex. So they're doing that, remember, but they won't fucking touch this. The medicine is authorized for treatment of pediatric epilepsy and is classified by the DEA as a Schedule 5 controlled substance. Can they stop using Roman numerals? I don't feel like everybody knows what that is. Anyways, in 2020, a 2020 report to Congress, the FDA acknowledged that regulating over-the-counter hemp-derived CBD products in a manner similar to dietary supplements could potentially disincentivize further clinical research into the compound's development as a prescription drug to treat other medical conditions. The agency stated, as FDA considers regulating additional non-drug products containing CBD, we are committed to doing all we can to encourage the development of CBD drug products and additional cannabis-derived drug products through existing legal pathways. They continued by saying, if the widespread availability of consumer CBD products were to significantly discourage clinical research, our knowledge of CBD's potential medical use could be stunted. We are mindful of the need to ensure that adequate incentives remain to encourage further clinical study. So they're like, we're not regulating it because people might stop studying it.
No, not that it would make it more available versus and being able to actually take a look at different products and grow.
Yes.
I don't have to repeat.
It's not that simple. They definitely need to put some regulation on it so that you always know what you're getting, and so that you know that companies that are not providing what is necessary under the regulations are not going to be able to continue to sell their product.
Right. Like you have to have some kind of testing certification or some kind of, and I feel like that's where it comes into play an education of even the education to these people that are making these regulations of like, why are we making it separate? Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
We use CBD for Epidiolex, but we're not going to use CBD from hemp or acknowledge that we can, you're already extracting. We already have our process that we're, cease and desisting people from using or
yeah, like it's crazy.
Stealing their IP is what they're saying, using their IP.
It's never going to be like, stop applying for a job that is not your job. Like, stop being like, these people making laws around cannabis don't know anything about cannabis. How dare you tell me what, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it should never have been made illegal, but we all know that the reason that cannabis was made illegal is because of racism. And they are so, I was going to say this earlier when we were talking about one of the other stories, but they are so attached to their racism and their reasoning, because there's still racist reasons for why cannabis remains illegal in a lot of spaces, and why people in prison a majority represent Black and brown communities. So there's a reason for that. And the thing is, they've got their claws so deep in it, they won't even fucking budge for the money. They won't even fucking budge for the money. They're just like, no, we're gonna let the states handle it, and we're not gonna legalize cannabis federally across the whole United States. Across the whole United States, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that at all, because it's so like, I feel like what? It doesn't even make sense to me.
I mean, do we really have to wait another generation? Is there still people that, like, do we have to wait till the generation?
We got to wait till the fucking boomers die. Literally, what is happening? Why are we being run by, like, I don't want my mother in charge of the United States. Or your mother. I don't want
my
that.
Parents, but they
you've had your time. It's over now. Like, it's like, get out. And I think that even, like, you can see where cannabis crosses party lines with the younger generations of Republicans and Democrats, regardless of other things that they believe and think or whatever. But cannabis is an agreed upon concept. But then you got that they're not in charge. You know what I'm saying? So, like, then we got, like, fucking Mitch McConnell blocking votes, or not having votes, or not having the discussion. And it's just, why is your great grandfather, okay, sitting and making decisions about how you live your life? Because that is essentially what's happening right now in the upper echelons of the Senate and of Congress.
Right. And we're talking not the 2000 babies. As far as representation, sorry.
I'm just fuck that guy, but they keep getting reelected. Like, it's just crazy to me that these types of individuals keep getting reelected, and then we don't have legal cannabis across the board. It's just, how is Canada legal and we're not legal? Like, they're like literally just right across the border. It doesn't make sense. Even Mexico has discussed legalization and pushed forward with that. Like, it just, it doesn't. We're sitting here in the middle on this fucking cash crop, and we can't do nothing about it except have people passing the ball back and forth about whether or not they want it regulated. We can't even.
Who's going to regulate it? We can't make it a team effort.
Like, yeah, just do it. Just fucking do it. And, like, also stop fucking skipping over the fact that we need a place to put our fucking money. Like, we could get into why banks are not a good idea. And they keep getting bailed out, et cetera, et cetera. I think eventually we might all lose our money if we continue to rely on banks, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But like, as a business, we can't put our money into a bank. Do you know how many hoops we had to jump through to put our money in a bank? Because we have a hemp CBD product. It's a hemp CBD product, a hemp legal in all states CBD product. And I had to, like, she and I had to jump through so many fucking hoops just to get our bank account open. And even then, we still don't have all of our bank cards. We still don't have everything that we've asked for. We still have a problem with communication. It's so crazy to me. It's so fucking crazy to me. Oh yeah, because the reason it's not federally legal is because then they can still, like, have people in prison for it. It's a whole fucking system. We know. It's just right. It's just so frustrating, But go ahead.
And sad, just frustrating and sad. That's all I was gonna insert. But yeah,
no, they can't. No, they can't. I feel like the government officials that are 25 to 30 years older than me don't represent my niece. They don't. Like literally, literally my mother calls me in the middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday and asks me what I'm doing. I'm a middle-aged woman. I'm working. I'm literally what? What do you mean? What am I? Every time. You know what she's doing? Nothing. She's watching TV. She's not doing nothing. It's not a background noise. It's like literally she's watching TV. Like we live different. She can't walk her dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like literally we live different lives. What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm being 45. That's what I'm doing. I'm being 45 right now.
Definitely agree that we need to instate term limits.
Yes. Yes.
Why not? Because again, who benefits from their long-term positions? It
needs to be like, okay, we can keep some of the shit, but check it out. Members of Senate and Congress should make what their constituents make, the lowest amount that their constituents make, whatever minimum wages. And you know what that means? That means that a lot of people aren't going to want to do it. That means a lot of people aren't going to want to do it. And that means that only the people that are doing it because they care about their government and the people, right? So that weeds out a lot of people because some people aren't going to want to do it because it's not enough money, right? It's not enough money because you make way the fuck more than your constituents make, and you don't know what it's fucking like to live on nothing
without health care.
So I think that if you work in public service, that you should make the amount of money that your lowest paid constituent legally makes, right? So that's your minimum wage in your state. You should also only have access to the same health care that your constituents have access to, right?
Yep.
And renters laws and live how your constituents fucking live, so that maybe you might consider raising the minimum wage to a livable wage, which is no longer $15 an hour, you guys. That's crazy talk.
It's all, there's so many dollars that fly around and all that talk that we aren't even, a part of, or, the back talk and why these things work, that we won't be able to see the change because it goes deeper than.
Yeah.
Oh, it goes, than our representatives.
It's so corrupt. It's so corrupt.
Yeah. So
but in an ideal world, that's how it will work. In an ideal world,
just short of a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, in an ideal world, that's how it will work. It will work in terms of you would not be making $11 an hour as a senator or a congressperson. You would be making $30 an hour because that's your state's minimum wage. And that's a living wage. That's a wage you need to pay your rent, or you'd be making $15 an hour, but put limits on rent increases so that people can afford to live in properties in your state.
Right. And not, I don't know, there's
got to be some happy medium. Like there's got to be.
There's this always a big fight here, obviously, between the employment of the resort and the people that enjoy it and the people that live here and work, and not providing housing here for that, and expecting for the mountain to run.
Yeah. They want these kids to run the mountain for them, but they don't want to give them a place to stay. They don't want to give them affordable food to eat. They don't.
Living conditions. Some of them are stacked 4 to a room, 8 to a room. If they're, like because they're not getting paid enough, and they're here living a lifestyle, some of them, but whatever. Again, it's just a
Yeah. So when
cost
I
of living,
was,
cost of, I'm getting priced out of here, and I'm like, fuck.
yeah. So when I was, in, when I first got out of active duty, when I first got off of active duty, I was in Virginia, and, I was dating a guy, and his friend had rented out one room in his, like, bungalow house or whatever. It was in Virginia Beach. There were, like, 8 people staying in that one room, and they were all, like, I think from, like, Russia or something out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they all had bicycles outside, so they would bicycle to work, and then they all had, like, they all had, like, 2 or 3 jobs. They had, like, server jobs, and then, like, also, like, tour guide jobs or
That's
stuff like that, yeah.
the whole thing here. Yeah,
Yeah.
see that whole tourism, attraction, and some of them live it. They love it. Though they want to come, they want to enjoy the life. They work. They don't
But
give a
8
shit.
people into a tiny room with 1 bathroom is crazy town.
I know, which is disgusting, but it's like what they're like, whatever. And let's just I don't think about that.
Um,
Oh.
I will admit that it is my privilege that is turning me off of that idea. 'Cause I think you should be able, like, literally as a single person, you should be able to live by yourself if you so choose. And you can't do it. You
Right.
can't do it. In
Not
any state in the United States, it's damn near impossible. It's damn near impossible on regular wages, on regular America wages. It's just, it's just crazy talk. And I think that, obviously, if the only thing that our representatives have access to is what we as constituents have access to, then
maybe we'll see some change.
maybe we would see a change. Maybe we would see, like, fair wages, and instead of predatory practices in business, they would start passing laws against that.
Yeah.
It's
One,
real.
one can dream.
It is a dream.
Ouray. I love Ouray, Jen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice out there.
It is. We're getting to that time.
Yeah.
You want to start? I think we had some events we wanted to
Yeah.
promote.
We're gonna be on Discord for a minute after the show, so if you guys want to come hang out, check us out. Solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. Discord it's a fun little platform. It's like a kind of like an old school 90s chat room, but with, like, video capability. A little bit like that. If you're into it, just come hang out with us.
This, but we get to see your face if you want us to.
Yeah, and you can, like, say what you're typing. It's great.
Yeah. It's fun. It is fun. I think it's fun. We have we do we do this.
It's what we do. Sometimes we do it without makeup.
And my lips are so dry right now. I keep licking them because I'm
It's
trying.
Colorado.
So yeah, and I've just been.
It's Colorado. My hairdresser told me the other day to use conditioner in my scalp, and I was like, "Oh, excuse me," because that's the rule. That's the rule. You don't use conditioner on your scalp. She's like, "We live in Colorado."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Or make sure you're
some type of
massaging.
moisturizer.
Yeah, I was so dandruffy. Like I
Yeah.
know I was. Even after my wash and massage, she could have I wish she would have scrubbed my fucking head.
I think Misty did scrub the shit out of my head. I was like, that burns, but keep doing it. I don't.
Yep.
So we don't have any humidity here. It's dry as fuck.
Yep.
So yeah, that rule that you shouldn't use conditioner on your scalp She said break it.
Break it in Colorado and dry climate.
And dry climates. So yeah, so we have we're gonna be at the Marijuana Mansion on Sunday. And for the Super Bowl. So I don't know who's pulling for who on the Super Bowl. Hit us up in the comment section. Let's see who we got right now in the Super Bowl. I won't say who I'm pulling for.
I don't.
Yeah.
Who made it? Kansas City and
It's Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. I don't have a preference at all. If I'm gonna
like
color, if I go by a color, then it would be for the Eagles because green. Yeah.
Okay.
We do have a lot of KC people in the house, so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got a couple of KC. I know Nex is an Eagles fan. He's an Eagles fan. Something that you may or may not know about me, I do like the sports ball. I am a huge Niners fan, so super disappointed. But also, when I'm not pulling for the Niners, I am definitely pulling for the Eagles. I'm definitely pulling for the Eagles. I'm East Coast girl. In an East Coast world. I don't know. Like I was born in Philly. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time there. I didn't grow up in Philly, but I was born there, and so out of obligation, they are my backup team.
Noted.
So
there was a hideous sweater like at my thrift store at Eagles. Just hideous in the fact that like it was meant to be like an ugly sweater looking kind of eagle, but I was like, wow, okay.
I would wear it maybe.
Someone's gonna scoop that up. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure.
Because again, I pulled it for the color and was like, nope. I barely wear branded stuff or whatever. Don't forget February 8th, Wednesday, y'all. We're gonna have some super entrepreneurs with us. We have Cheryl and Vyoshi Clements of Vernon hitting us up. They have so many. I'm excited about melanated mushrooms. They have a design studio where they're making shoes. They're learning how to make shoes.
So weird.
I like.
But so cool.
And then I'm so interested in what the House of Perfection is.
House of Weird Perfection.
Yeah, House of Weird Perfection. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited on that too.
So 4:20 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, y'all. Save it in your notifications.
Yeah, on Wednesday. It's gonna be on Wednesday. I'm gonna put that poster out. We should put that poster out today.
Yeah.
So let's see. What was the other thing? Oh, would you rather? Of course. Where are the notes at? Here we go.
Scroll.
I have a couple of would you rather. So our first one is would you rather randomly this one's so funny. Would you rather randomly time travel plus or minus 20 years? So you're going forwards or backwards 20 years every time you fart. Or teleport to a different place on Earth, somewhere on land, so not in water, every time you sneeze. So would you rather teleport 20 years forwards or backwards every time you fart? Or that's time travel, or teleport to a different place every time you sneeze?
Right. I know my answer. I'm gonna.
Where do you come up with this shit?
The internet.
The internet.
I'm gonna time travel. Because I'm gonna have a go bag. I'm gonna set things up and make sure that.
Like, where am I? Am I in a place of important history?
Yeah,
that's the thing. If you're a time traveler, you've got to know your history and prepare for the future.
Sneezing, it's like, where are you gonna land? What if you land in some fucked up place? How can you prepare for that? Like,
find some pepper, carry pepper in your pocket.
I sneeze at no minimum of 2 sneezes.
You just end up in somebody's living room.
You're like, hop.
I don't sneeze as much as I fart. See, that's the thing.
Could live 2 to 3
lives. I feel like I fart more than I sneeze too. Guess what, y'all?
But if you at least go through the motions to set up, so you always have funds, and you always have like a, like meme, like.
Yeah, but funds from where? You have to have funds from.
That's part of the plan.
Because what if? Okay, stay with me here.
You're gonna.
What if you fart back? What if you fart back 20 years? What if you fart back 20 years, right? And you were prepared for that. You have the currency for that. But the next time you fart back 20 more years and you're not prepared for that. What if you fart back like too far back where money wasn't, like you had to trade sheep? And then what do you fucking do with all this fucking paper?
Have a go bag with
a sheep? You gonna carry fucking sheep with you?
For sheep. Well, I don't think but it doesn't say that it doesn't say, it just says plus or 20.
Yeah, so you could go backwards.
So if you fart,
you could keep going backwards, or you could fucking go forward. Always have an escape plan. Just don't eat beans. I want to teleport, and then maybe I could visit a bunch of places. And then I would just be in the middle of a tour, and then I would sneeze because it's dusty in there. And I'd be like, fuck, I was really interested in what was going to happen next. Like, I was really curious.
And you just sneeze and you peace out.
Just sneeze. Okay, well, it's been nice knowing you because you could feel it coming in your nose.
I've sneezed 11 times in a row before. For
sure. See?
So where am I going?
And then it would be in like all the papers or like all of the internet papers, all of the internet news. It would be all over. Just the random girl shows up.
A blip.
Okay, so the other would you rather is a personal one. This one's a personal one. Would you rather have a pebble in your shoe like all day, or have your socks scrunched down around your toes all day? Would you rather have a pebble in your shoe or have your socks scrunched down around your toes?
Pebble.
This is from personal experience. All day long, the pebble. Try to kick that bitch around. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can kind of wiggle it and...
Yeah. Try to get it to the toe.
Yeah, position it. Not cool if you are having to walk or hike, but I guess you won't be doing it.
Yeah, like this sock thing where it keeps falling down. Oh, it's the fucking worst. Especially when you thought you felt good in your outfit and your socks just fucking ruin it for you. Like,
it's like under your toes, and that. And you can't pull them up.
Can't get them out. Yeah, because it's inappropriate to touch your feet in public. I don't know if some of y'all knew that or not, but you heard it here first. Don't touch your feet in public. Don't do it. It's weird. It's weird. As always, and again, this show is brought to you by Pop This Queen Kitty Seltzer, Lemon Kiss, Bubblegum Burst, and Nearly Naked. There's a little bit of education with our faces on every can. You can order it on queenkittyseltzer.com, or you can check out solo.to/queenkittyseltzer to find all of our links and social media. What the hell is it? So you can check us out there. They're so flavorful. There's no yak in the back, and there's absolutely no sugar or sweeteners in Queen Kitty Seltzer. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. You'll like it. It's refreshing.
And our merch is up there. Shop
yeah,
it.
Shop our merch.
And
everything. Thank you.
From little items to big items. There's an array of merchandise you can choose from.
There's little boobs and big boobs. It's fantastic. Check us out on, sorry, that's CQ LLC, but definitely check us out there. Check us out on solo.to/cannabiscloset420 as well to join our Discord and check out our social media. Tell your friends about us. We're here every Monday and Wednesday, except when we're not, at 4:20 Mountain Standard Time, talking about things, usually cannabis and life. And we love it here. So with that, let's see. Here we go. She's so loud. Be nice to yourself. Make sure you put your mask on before assisting others.
Cultivate love. Bring it to you.
You deserve it. You do.
And
stay lifted.
Stay lifted.
Stay lifted. Yes, definitely tune in on Wednesday. This show is going to be fantastic. Cheryl and Vernon Clements, Vyoshi Studios, melanated mushrooms. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then what was the other one? The House of
Weird Perfection.
The House of Weird Perfection. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, definitely check us out on Wednesday. It's going to be a grand show. I can't wait to bring it to you. See you then. Stay lifted, everybody. See you on Discord.